We're in the studio today. I'm not outside walking in the woods because, well, it's raining. And last week when I tried to film a video, I bumped into so much different wildlife that it wasn't even funny. I was almost attacked by a giant swan, which was great. I was swarmed by mosquitoes and flies, and it was super, what's the word? The humidity was very, very high. So I was sweating my balls off. Yeah, it didn't go well. So I'm here today. I love summer, but the wildlife in the woods can be a bit crazy. So we're here today. And also I'm working non-stop on my next album. So this is really just convenient to be in the studio, film this, and get back to work. One of my friends wrote a question on Facebook, and she's an artist too. She had some trouble with insomnia, so just trouble sleeping, really. So she listed a bunch of things that she had tried, but none of it was really working. Now, I commented on that post and went through some of the basic things, nutrition, hydration. One of the big things for me has been physical exercise, to actually be physically active, to physically exhaust myself. Not only the muscles per se, but your nervous system, like to actually run it down a bit so that you would feel this sort of a deeper, different sensation of being tired. But the thing I want to talk about in this video has to do with my last point on that post, which is that you need to tire your mind. I find that especially with creative people, your energy to create and work this thing right here comes from a completely different place. It's your desire and your need to create, to put together things and piece things together. And a part of it is creative and a part of it is intellectual. And to what degree, that depends on what type of music you're making. But the bottom line is that you need to create. If you are a creative person, it is inside your body. That urge, it's a physical thing. If you don't do it, you will wither away and die. You have to be creative if that's in your bones. Now, to what extent, that depends on your personal ambition and it depends on your personal interests. If you are a professional musician, that's probably a pretty high thing on your list, a pretty important thing to get right. If you're a creative person, but you don't want to do this professionally, maybe it's a hobby. Maybe you want to play your instrument half an hour or an hour a day. Maybe that's your thing. So it's like there's a completely different creative energy reserve in your body. If you don't get to put out that energy, then it's pent up in you and just builds and builds up. And suddenly you start feeling restless. You wonder why you can't focus on things. Your mind is racing with all of these ideas. You just don't know what to do with yourself. Doesn't matter how much I physically exhaust myself, I need to be mentally intensively active. And it's something like what Elon Musk says to some of his employees, the engineers and designers, is that you need to think so hard that your brain hurts every time you go home from work. And I really like that, not only because it's very efficient, it's a great way to be super, super productive, but it's also great in the sense that it really exhausts your mental energy in a good way. If I don't spend that energy, then I'm going to lie down in bed and my mind is going to be racing. It's going to be full of creative ideas, full of intellectual pursuits, and I just can't quiet it down. I need to put those thoughts and put those ideas out there and pursue them and work on them so much that I just rather not think anymore for the day. For me, there's always an intellectual component to creativity. I want to push my capacity to simulate all of these abstractions that I'm trying to process in relation to the music. So a lot of the time, writing music is kind of like trying to solve a puzzle. You're trying to piece together all of these different components and bring them together in an harmonious way. And through that intellectual work, you can put together something quite complex in a very simple and beautiful way. And outside of music, I really try and push my understanding of philosophy, mindset, perspective. I'm obsessed by those things. So I really try and put some of that into every single day so that I feel like I'm mentally challenging myself and hopefully growing as well. So if you feel like your mind is running and it's full of ideas, not just only before bed, but throughout the day, then there might be a chance that you're not outputting enough mental resource into different sort of problems, may that be musical or intellectual. So my invitation to you is to introduce some of those type of exercises or activities into every single one of your days. And this isn't something that comes very naturally to people because mental work is tough. I mean, it's not in any way, in terms of the general concept, it's not much different to working out your muscles. You know, there's pain involved, there's some unpleasant feelings involved, but you can learn to enjoy that. So I understand that you might not be naturally inclined to work on this thing right here, but we all know that it feels great to solve problems. We all know that it feels great to learn. And we all know that although during your exercise you might feel pain and it doesn't feel that pleasant, but afterwards you're going to feel great. You get that good feeling. And, you know, when you pass a test with flying colors, or you know you've studied properly for something, or you solve an issue, and actually through that intellectual, mind-focused work, you actually move forward with something. That is a great, great feeling. And I don't think we should be afraid of that at all. So whatever your thing is in regards of creative or intellectual work, my invitation to you is to introduce some of that into every single one of your days, and preferably push yourself. You don't have to push yourself all the way to the end every single day to the point of mental exhaustion, but push yourself further than you would just comfortably go. When you do that, it's kind of difficult to have all these excess thoughts running in your head when you're physically positively tired and you're mentally positively tired. So try it out. It has worked wonders for me and my sleeping issues. I've only been sleeping kind of decently for the past maybe a year, and I'm 28 years old now, so that's a lot of bad sleeping. But this has worked wonders for me. I think a ton of creative people are going to find some utility in that concept. So try it out and let me know how it works. Finished.